You're probably sick of Valheim tips videos from YouTubers, definitely not like me, right? But if you're gonna watch just one, this has to be it because I did all the research and determined the greatest 50 tips of all time according to science. Well, not really. But seriously, sit back, relax, maybe learn a thing or two, and stick around for some goodies from War Thunder a little later. Number 50 is to use the set of icons to mark areas of special interest on your map, but if you're anything like me, this can quickly get out of hand. To tidy up, toggle the display of any of them with a click of a button, but also remove them to reduce clutter, even skull and bones left by your inevitable deaths. Before playing, ensure you disable screen shake, flashing lights, and motion blur. Having this enabled will seriously compromise your focus, and I promise you will have a more enjoyable experience without them. While I always plant food-producing seeds near my base for crops, I often overlook the planting of trees and end up with a barren field of stumps surrounding my base. Always plant beech, birch, and oak trees near your home for an endless supply of wood. The wet debuff from rain is inevitable until you make it to the ashlands for the shield generator. Yes, this is primarily used for protection from fire, but also blocks rain and snowstorms, making it fantastic in both the mountains and swamp. Most of the time, Dvager make for friendly allies until forced to betray them for their coveted extractors. To do so peacefully, build a cart outside their ward's radius, drag it inside, and bash it against the magical device until broken. From there, you'll be able to destroy the crate without enduring any dwarven rage. If you ever wonder what a buff does, you can open your compendium while it's active for a full overview of its benefits, which surprisingly many players often overlook. New to Valheim since the Bogwitch update in late 2024 is the ability to craft 5 times an item, which can now be executed by holding shift while crafting on keyboard. It's worth noting that this will yield 5 times experience to the new crafting skill, which increases your crafting speed and gives you a bonus chance of stackable items. Not to mention, reduces stamina and durability usage of the hammer. Enemy AI is pretty weird in Valheim and can be exploited in defending your base. For one, enemies have no idea how to approach inverted stairs, so placing them at your wall foundation will prevent their attack. 2, gaps in bridges become impassable by smaller enemies, so always include a small gap in any bridges you build. For even more security, use indestructible objects found in the environment as foundations for your bases. 2 of the most common examples are the rings of stone in the meadows and the non-ancient trees in the swamps. Neither of these structures can take damage, allowing you to build an impenetrable tree or rock house. Alternatively, my favorite base location in Valheim is below the Elder Spawn, providing an impenetrable roof and infinite source of the fire effect. Speaking of bases, I have a bonus tip. Let's call it 42A? Sure, that works. Raids are often the biggest threat you can face, but did you know the appearance of these are tied to boss progression? For instance, troll raids will never occur if you have never beaten the Elder, or the wolf raid if you have never beaten Bone Mass. If there is a raid you absolutely detest, you can procrastinate boss fights to avoid them, and for the most part, there are alternative approaches to progressing the game without boss defeats. The effects of food are often misunderstood, where most miss the fact that their buffs fade or decay over time, slightly at first, and accelerate towards the end. Every food in Valheim will buff any number of your stats for specific durations, with the prioritized stat dependent on the fork icon displayed, with yellow focused on stamina, red health, blue iter, and white for a balance. After the food is consumed, the stats provided will begin to fade based on this formula, but can be more simply understood with this table showing the reduced benefits over time of a 45 health and 15 stamina providing food. For this reason, it's wise that you refill your stomach as soon as the icon begins flashing to get the maximum benefit from its buff. Some mistake the /die and /print seeds commands as cheats, but neither require you to enable dev commands to use. The first in /die may not be widely adopted for the loss of your skills, but can provide the powerful corpse run buff and is often employed by speedrunners. The second, print seeds, may be more powerful as when entered, will display your distance from the nearest dungeon, making it useful in any biome, but especially the Mistlands where infested mines are notoriously hard to find. From now on, you should always do your crop harvesting with the harvest gear set of either dress or tunic, combined with the straw hat. After returning the bronze chest to Hildir, you can purchase these, which provide a set bonus of 25 to the new farming skill, added in the Bogwitch update. Having this higher skill increases your chance of bonus yield crops, the new scythe's radius, and reduces the stamina use of your cultivator, making farming a breeze. For me, the bonus crops are a lifesaver, keeping my food stores always full. This bonus yield applies also to foraged crops, and the next tip will help you find those, but first, get your free goodies from War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and is now available for free on PC, consoles, and mobile devices. Take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations in any of their 3 distinct modes. Arcade for those who crave fast-paced matches, Simulator, which ditches all guardrails for the ultimate challenge, or my personal favorite, Realistic, striking the perfect balance of intensity and authenticity. Immerse yourself in the intense combat of War Thunder with the incredible detailed vehicles, realistic graphics, and authentic sound effects that place you right at the helm of the most powerful war machines of all time. But don't let the visuals scare you. War Thunder is heavily optimized using their in-house engine, delivering a lag-free experience and stunning visuals on even low-end machines. So optimized in fact that you can now take War Thunder on the go with their all-mobile version, available on iOS and Android, with intuitive controls enabling a dynamic multiplayer experience. Join a worldwide community of over 70 million players in the breathtaking experience that is War Thunder with its unmatched wealth and quality of content. There is simply no game better suited for fans of military history. Play for free using my links in the video description or pinned comment on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile, and PC and console players can get a massive bonus pack for new players and those who haven't played for 6 months, including an exclusive vehicle decorator, the Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of a premium account, but act fast as it's only available for a limited time. Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. Speaking of crops, those foraged in the wild can often be challenging to see. For that reason, I always reduce the vegetation setting to make crops easier to spot, like red mushrooms in the meadows and black forest as one example. Movement speed is one of the most important assets in Valheim, which makes helmets my favorite piece of armor. Heavier chest and leg pieces come with a decrease to movement speed, while helmets do not. For this reason, I like to combine lighter, faster legs and pants with heavy helmets for the best of both worlds. If you want better inventory management than me, let's be real, it's not very hard. You should always label and color code your signs for higher visibility and easier navigation. The command bracket color equals white, closed by another bracket, followed by your label, makes them far easier to see than the default black. But just about any other color you think of will work as well. If you're looking to cook food quickly and save some time, you can place multiple cooking stations atop a single campfire, with the max now at 4, I believe, permitting you to cook up to 8 pieces of meat simultaneously. In the later game, you can maximize your kitchen efficiency by placing your iron cooking station, meat kettle, and cauldron atop the same hearth to take advantage of the single fire source. The next one is a bit of a cheat, but if you have fire hazards enabled in your settings, you can set wood stacks on fire with something like a torch or staff of embers to instantaneously convert it to a 50 stack of coal. Charcoal kilns have been in shambles ever since. Before acquiring the magnificent feather cape, fall damage is one of the bigger threats to Vikings, especially in the mountains. Fortunately, you can keep yourself safe having your health above 100, as this is the max you can take from a single fall, no matter the height. Another hack is when hit with a damage over time effect, like that from fire or poison, is to log out and log back in to rid yourself of the effect and save yourself some health. But it does remove beneficial statuses as well, like rested. Logging out too also breaks enemy aggro, perhaps giving you an extra second to react when logging back in. A less cheesy alternative to avoid damage over time is to use loading screens like entering dungeons and portals to avoid the damaging ticks. While in these animations, the ticks will continue to count down, but you will be invincible for the entire duration. Most enemies in Valheim must be square with the player before they can attack, which is where a nimble player can take advantage. Working best with larger enemies like Locks or even bosses like Yagluth, circle them slowly while periodically poking them. If done right, they will never be able to attack you. Many people don't know this, but weather in Valheim is anything but random. Each world you ever play on will have the same exact and completely predictable schedule of weather. If you want to know the forecast for the day and biome of interest, check out this website right here. The game has few glitches, but the Finewood chair is a powerful exception. It can be used in many instances to clip inside of things otherwise not intended, like rocks in the plains, trees in the swamps, and maybe most useful, into sunken crypts without the crypt key. I get why most players avoid using this one, but it can save your butt if ever forgetting your swamp key at home. You should always mark foods found in the wild, like mushrooms and berries. Unlike other crops, these cannot be farmed, but mushrooms respawn every 4 hours while berries every 5. With them marked, you can return to them regularly, rather than wander the biomes aimlessly in search. Feasts can now be crafted and served for Viking tribes to share, thanks to ingredients from the new Bogwitch NPC and their serving tray purchasable from her shop. While the buffs are typically lesser than the standard foods, they can be consumed up to 10 times, provide a longer buff, and make a great decoration for any dining hall. If you have become frustrated with spears, I get it, I've been there, but trust me, this is perhaps the best weapon class in the game, and I highly recommend you use them more often. Not only do they have a sweet secondary attack in the toss, but they are one of the highest damage per second classes, plus their weapon skill levels faster than any other. If you've been sleeping on bombs, it's time to wake up. The bile and especially ooze are fantastic for tackling large groups of enemies and are especially handy in dungeons. The ooze, for instance, can be thrown at walls of infested mines to deal tick damage without breaking the barriers themselves, keeping you safe from the horde of seeker and tick on the other side. One note to keep in mind, however, is that poison does not stack. For this reason, you won't gain any benefit from throwing many of these simultaneously. Rather, wait for the effect of one to wear off before tossing another. Similarly, two-handed hammers have AoE effects, allowing you to clear dungeons behind barriers, but also keep surrounding enemies at bay with its slamming attack. Not to mention, they can locate silver in the mountains, denoted by the 2 hard text without a wishbone. Sleeping through the night is one of the simpler and advantageous things you can do in Valheim for 3 reasons. 1. Some of the game's most dangerous creatures like starred wolves and Jarl exclusively spawn at night. The cold debuff is applied to players without any form of frost resistance. And third, resource refining and plants growing will continue during the skip period, making for much accelerated processing. To determine how close you are to nightfall, you can check when your last save occurred, which typically marks a new day, assuming you know the day's length is 21 minutes and the night 9. Rather than farm materials the old-fashioned way, use the troll staff or battering ram. Both new items can destroy resource nodes like rocks in the plains or copper veins in the Black Forest in mere seconds. The abyssal harpoon is primarily used to drag serpent to the shore, but are useful in many other ways. For one, use them to drag tameable creatures into pens or holes, and enable friendly fire to drag your already tame creatures should they be acting naughty. Second, toss them at birds for an arrow-free method for feather collection. Understanding your weapon class and how it works can be a big advantage, with many having a secondary attack that can be advantageous in different scenarios. While I won't cover them all here, make sure you try them for yourself, with Accu's spinning attack being one of my faves. Second, most weapons like swords, as an example, have a 3-attack combo, with the third dealing twice the damage of the first 2. For this reason, learn to start your combos in such a way that you can safely take advantage of the extra damage by finishing the combo. Fire is one of the most powerful sources of damage in Valheim because its tick damage will stack if a creature or player is exposed to it multiple times. For this reason, campfires and bonfires are weapons that can be employed by Vikings to supplement weapon damage against creatures both big and small, but also leveraged to cheese the game's difficult boss encounters. Auto pickup is enabled by default, causing players to automatically retrieve resources as they walk over them. While normally desirable, it can cause trouble when recovering a corpse, clogging your inventory in a likely high-pressure situation. For this reason, disable this behavior before your next death run, with V being the default on PC. As a bonus, click Take All when interacting with your corpse, if not immediately retrieving your gear. The corpse run awarded increases carrying capacity, allowing you time to re-equip your strength belt before the buff expires. Like the troll staff and battering ram before, mining is vastly improved with some hired help. Surprisingly, trolls work for free and can do serious damage to resources, otherwise requiring more advanced tools like birch trees and metal nodes. It's important to keep in mind many creatures can damage the environment across the game's biomes, with seeker soldiers being another good example. The huntsman bow, or all bows for that matter, have a hidden noise mechanic that alerts enemies in a radius where an arrow was released and lands. The Huntsman stands out, with it being by far the smallest at 4 meters compared to 15 and 8 of most others, making this the first choice of any Viking assassin. Speaking of noise, each action a player does has an associated noise radius that will attract nearby foes. This can range anywhere from 0, like while sneaking, to 100 when either chopping or mining, which explains why Grey Dwarfs seem to come out of the woodwork every time I'm mining for some copper. Many structures like the boat, cart, or battering ram can't be deconstructed like most buildables. That said, you can destroy them with a weapon for a full material refund. Often, this is a faster, more efficient approach to transporting these machines, and specifically, the boat can accelerate a journey across a large island by instead portaging with it in your pocket. Commonly known, portals connect to those with the same name, but did you know that 2 unnamed portals will also connect? For this reason, I like to keep an unnamed portal at my base for emergencies. This way, I can quickly drop a portal and have it connect to home without the stress of renaming it while tensions are high. Spawn of creatures can be prevented by placing any of these, known as base structures. While most have a radius of 20 meters, workbenches, forges, and artisan tables can be increased even further with their associated upgrades. Additionally, base structures prevent items scattered on the ground from despawning indefinitely. The root harness is likely the best single piece of armor in the entire game. So good in fact, I often see myself using it in the Mistlands and even Ashlands. Despite its lower armor rating, its 50% reduction in damage from pierce-dealing attacks is untouchable, and when combined with barley wine, completely nullifies its weakness. Taking advantage of the backstab bonus can help make a difficult fight much easier. As long as the icon above a creature's head is not that of a red exclamation mark, they are unaware of you and will be subject to bonus backstab damage corresponding to your weapon type. Contrary to popular belief, backstabs do not need to be from behind and will apply no matter the direction. Taking advantage of a creature's weakness to a specific type of damage will make any fight far easier. To illustrate, yellow damage numbers indicate a creature is weak to the damage dealt, white that they are neutral, and gray if they are resistant. Understanding creatures' resistances and the damage of your weapon will allow you to do anywhere from 0 to 200% damage. Starting in the early game and staying with you throughout, remember you can deconstruct existing structures found in the world to reclaim their resources. This can be an easy way to get early wood in the meadows and black marble in the Mistlands as 2 examples. The hoe is incredibly powerful and may be the most versatile defensive tool in the entire game. You can use it to raise defensive walls for your base, raise earth below your feet for quick height advantage, create a divot for rest when climbing a cliff, and even retrieve resources stuck in water or tar. Unlike most weapons, the hammer does not have a sheath animation that would otherwise slow a player down. Weapons in Valheim have movement speed impacts, and therefore you're fastest when running unarmed. To avoid the sheathing animation and sprint more quickly, swap to your hammer and sheath it rather than sheath your weapon of choice. Stamina is king in this game, and far too often I see players exhausting their stamina bar, only to be ambushed by a strong creature unable to defend themselves. When in combat, walk and do not run to conserve stamina. Creatures' movement and attack patterns are predictable and can be manipulated if patient, while saving your stamina for attacks and dodging, as we will discuss shortly. Each of the game's creatures belongs to a specific faction, which are hostile to those belonging to others. A smart player will use these alliances against them for assistance in fights, making the borders of biomes to be one of the best places to take advantage of this fact. Common examples of these in action are to use Gross of the Undead Clan to fight Fueling of the Plains, or more simply, Skeletons versus Grey Dwarf in the Black Forest. If you aren't using your dodge, you absolutely need to be. If you're familiar with other action-adventure games like Dark Souls, you have probably heard the term iframes or invincibility frames. These are brief moments of invulnerability provided to the player when dodging, which if you don't know, is done by hitting the jump button while holding block. In these moments, all damage is ignored, making for what might be the most powerful skill to master in the game. Thou shalt not leave home without the rested buff. Hammer this phrase in your mind, as this needs to be your gospel in your adventures. It's easily the most powerful buff available, providing an enhancement to stamina, health, and item regeneration, plus a hidden increase to skill experience gain. It's so strong the game damn well feels unplayable without it. Make sure you increase the duration it gives by increasing your comfort level to the current max of 19, yielding a 26-minute buff. And number 1 is to play Valheim exactly how you want to. Since the Hilde Request update in 2022, a vast set of world modifiers were added to Valheim, allowing Vikings to tweak their settings exactly how they like. If you're an old man like me with a day job and doggo, constantly demanding your attention, increase the resource drop rate to take advantage of the limited time you have in your busy schedule. Stressed out after a long day of school or work, turn down the difficulty or disable raids for a more chill experience. Valheim is a game made to be enjoyed in different ways for folks with different playstyles. Don't let anyone ever tell you how to play your favorite game. Before you go, one last shout out to War Thunder and reminder to play on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile using my links, and PC and console players can get a sweet pack of goodies, including multiple premium vehicles, in-game currency, and more for new or returning players having not played for 6 months, available for a limited time. Now that you're up to speed on the GOAT Valheim tips, I covered every update and look to the future of this game we love in this video right here.